Hi guys, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop, and today, as promised, we're going to go through the deck. There's not an awful lot to check, so this is hopefully going to be really short on our little mini-series. Now, I had a viewer ask me to show how to get the covers off. Well, there's not a lot to it. This one has a long 1/4-inch bolt and a very short one. Short ones are in the front. The longer one's in the back because the cover domes up to clear the pulleys. Now this one's a lot easier to get off than mine. This is a newer machine. I'm guessing it's somewhere between 5 and 7 years old. It doesn't have a lot of use on it, but if this was still hooked to your machine and you had your tires out here and that big bar going over top, this one's a lot easier to get off because they got a little bit smarter. They split the front of it. So you can just pull it straight back and pop it over the shaft. You don't have to try to wiggle it off over the top and under the bar like you do mine. Sometimes mine's a problem to get off. But this is what's under the cover if you've never had it off before. Like I said, there's not a lot of stuff to worry about checking. You've got a switch down here on this machine. Mine don't have one. Well, it doesn't anymore. I think it used to, but that's another story. If your machine is giving you intermittent problems on starting, as I go through this machine, I'm going to point out the safety switches and where they are so you know where to check for them. This is one of them. And this one, I believe, is working. I didn't have any trouble starting it and getting it in here. So I guess I'm not going to worry about checking that. The next thing is your idler pulley. I want to bring you over here. Okay, this is your idler pulley, or a lot of people call them back breakers because when you put it in gear, it bends the belt backwards, and which is really hard on belts. But you want to check this to see what shape it's in. Now this one spins really nice, but that is not good. A good bearing would not spin like that. If this was brand new, you could grab onto this and spin it as hard as you could, and it would spin about 3 times and stop. That's a good bearing. Now, if you check yours and it turns real stiff, but yet when you try to turn it, you can feel catches and hear clicking noises, that is not good either. It's time to replace it at that point. This just spins free, like from all the miles on it. It has a little side play in it. You can hear it. But as easy as this is to get to, I'm not going to worry about changing it at this point. You just pop the cover off, a couple 9/16 wrenches, and you can change that out in about 5 minutes. Now your spindle. You can't turn your spindle because you have a brake on here, another safety thing, that stops the spindle when you let off on this pedal that you step on. You want to shift it in gear and hold that pedal down with your hand. Then you can turn your spindle. Now the noise you hear is the brake is dragging a little bit. It's not fully opening. But there is no side play. There's no end play. Even though they turn pretty free, I'm not going to worry about replacing them. I do have videos on replacing bearings and how to rebuild the spindle if you want to look them up. And that's about it. You can check your springs to make sure none of them are broke or come unhooked. This all looks really nice under here. So that's it on the deck. Not a lot to check. So we're just going to put the cover back on and stick it somewhere because I'm running out of room with all these parts. And I'm not done yet. Like I've said, this is my boss's rider. He said, hey, why don't you check a few things out on it and make sure it's in good shape. And if you want to, you can make a couple videos. Well, I'm hoping he meant I could tear this thing all apart because we ain't done yet. The next videos, we're going to be taking the tires off. We're going to be taking the kingpins out. And we're going to check what they call bearings, but they're really plastic bushings that your kingpins rotate on when you turn your steering wheel. Them are important. The snapper that I've got, my 33-inch, mine are shot. And they're wore to the point where they've wore out my kingpins. And luckily I have another machine for parts because the kingpins are no longer available. A lot of these parts aren't for these old machines. You have to find a boneyard that's willing to sell parts. So that's coming up next. Don't forget to subscribe. I need subscribers. I'm trying to work out a deal with some of these parts distributors on a like 10% off the cost of parts, not only for me, but for my viewers. Or maybe free shipping, something. And I need subscribers. The last time I got a hold of them, I had like 300. I'm up to 600 now. And they weren't too impressed at that point. So maybe I get 1,000 or 1,500. We'll go back and knock on their door again and see what they want to do. But in the meantime, if you got any questions on your deck, shoot me an email and I'll help you out. My email is jimsfixitshop@gmail.com. And I guess until next time, work safe, have fun, and I got to go out and mow the grass. Talk to you later.